Denver. On first down, Simeon. Forced out to his left. That's caught. It's Thomas. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7.
On any given pass play, you never know exactly where your exit points are going to be. On this play, he was flushed to his left, still on the run, able to accurately throw the football for a nice first down.
They'll run. Anderson. And he will fight his way into the end zone for a Bronco touchdown. C.J. Anderson taking it in from 7 yards away. And the Broncos take it all the way down the field and score on the opening drive. Now after the touchdown, ready to boot it away, Riley Dixon. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. Shift together here from the D-line. They'll give it to him right up the gut. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down. And Mr. Cooper, Amari, a headliner in this offensive unit.
Brandon, it's rare that you get guys so polished coming out of college, but Amari Cooper has carried himself like a pro probably since he was 6 years old. He is a terrific talent.
Trying to drop one in, but it's incomplete. And here's a look at the defense for Denver.
Von Miller is so good that he doesn't even need a nickname. His ability to bend and dip on the pass rush, unequaled in this league.
Throwing his car on third down. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37.
Did you see that route the way that I did? I thought he was trying to get deep.
Yeah, that
first.
wasn't the first option.
No, it came off of that guy, the deep guy, and came underneath on the drag, completed it very well.
Looking for a seam, but finding. None. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. And the offense behind the chains here, a touch on 2nd and 11. From the gun, it's Carr. Going to throw right side here, complete. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. On first down, Carr. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And now the ball's out. Fumble near midfield. It's picked. There he goes, right side. And this is going to be brought back for a Denver touchdown. The pass receiver turned into a runner, then he turned into a fumbler, and it goes the other way for 6.
I love your description. Although for the offense, they're not too happy about it. But for the defense, what a big-time play for them. Never give up on anything. Sometimes you create your own points.
But the receiver, hard to fault him. He's just going for extra yards.
That's exactly what you're supposed to do, but you have to take care of the football.
And he puts it through. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. Now the Raiders offense, they get set to head back on the field. Possible run anticipation here as the D-line sandwiches together. Now Carr. And a quick throw here, that's complete. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Looks like the defense in press coverage here. Running it, Washington. A gain of 4 that time as the drive continues. The offensive line and its ability to open holes in this defensive front, something they were confident they could create in this game. Got the job done there, picked up the first.
And something they wanted to do. Have we ever met offensive linemen that don't want to fire out and hit people? I mean, they love the running game. Guys want to do that. And when you emphasize it, practice it, and work on it, that gives you an opportunity during the game.
That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. A little bit of ground to make up for the offense as they face a 2nd and 11. One receiver to the left is Cooper. Carr now to throw. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
Normally, he's pretty reliable. Usually catches what's thrown to him. On that play, he simply dropped it.
So incomplete on 2nd down. Now they'll look to convert here on 3rd. Throwing now is Carr. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. Good contain. No gain on the screen, and it'll bring up 4th down. So unable to get any yardage at all off of the screen there on 3rd down.
And ordinarily on 3rd down, that's when you want to bring pressure. You get all your guys who want to get after the quarterback. But how about the patience they showed? Read the play.
And now the Broncos will burn another timeout here. And that's their 2nd charge timeout here in this first quarter. They're down to 1 remaining. Here's Marquette King now to kick it for Oakland. Emmanuel Sanders deep for the Broncos. This is away and a very good kick angled for the sidelines. And this will depend on the spot as it sails out of bounds. And they'll say it sailed out at the 10-yard line. And Denver getting set to take the field. And that recipe on their last drive that resulted in a touchdown looked pretty good, so they'll be hoping to do that once more.
And it takes me back to when we sat with the offensive coordinator and the head coach. They felt pretty good about their game plan and thought there were some holes in the defense, and they exploited them the last time out. Let's see if they can come back and put together a similar drive.
And we'll see if they can do just that. And he's able to get this one all the way past the 30. Back alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's Bronco football to begin quarter number 2 as they take over following the punt with a 1st and 10. Now a play fake here on 1st down. He's going to let this one go deep. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
On every offensive coordinator, every play caller sheet, they have about 5 or 6 plays per game that they call shot plays or big plays. And you don't get many opportunities to dial them up. And they just did. And they drop it with a great chance to make a big play. That's going to hurt.
Now it's the Chiefs' all-time leading rusher. It's Jamal Charles on the carry. And he will lose yardage on the play. Back at his own 19-yard line. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down. Play action. It's Simeon surveying the field. Now he'll throw deep left side. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
Well, they went for the big play there, but that drop could really hurt their momentum.
On 4th down, it's Riley Dixon on now to kick it away for Denver. Fielded at about the 28. Whoosh. Nice job on the return there. 16 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way...
And now the ball's out. Fumble near midfield. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, and that could have been trouble.
All I can say about this play is that someone's living right. I mean, he's trying to gain yardage, trying to get upfield. Ball comes free. What's that panic that we've talked about oftentimes that you feel when you lose the ball?
You can sense it.
Oh, you can sense it, and somehow he got to it and was able to recover it for the squad.
And a short gain there down to the 37-yard line. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good first down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on first down, you're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
Right back to Washington. And this time not as successful as he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
But there's another example of why they haven't scored any points so far. I think it's time to abandon the run game, spread things out, and go to the air. It certainly can't be any worse than what they've done so far.
From the gun now on 3rd down, Carr. And he's got it. Got his man on the end route. Complete. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs.
And fits the exact right word. Over the middle, there's almost always traffic, so anytime you're a receiver in that area, you're not just focused on catching the football. You're wondering where the collision's going to come from, right? Because there's almost always someone there able to concentrate, catch it, and even added a little extra at the end with a short run.
A solid pickup of 13 sets him up 1st and goal.
Absolutely love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed. And he's able to get to the 2nd level almost before you blink if you give him any type of blocking. Always talk about slot receivers, and they're usually known as quicker than fast. In this case, we've got a guy who's quick and fast, and he used it to great advantage.
On 1st and goal, Washington. And only about a yard there as he takes it from the 9 to the 8. And the coach has decided to challenge this play. He has tossed down the red flag. Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player, you threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the head coach. He has the final determination on whether to actually challenge the play or not. In this case, it didn't pay off for him.
And that's got to be so heartbreaking. You throw that flag, you probably feel really confident, and then all of a sudden, boom, you lose the challenge.
Yeah, when you take a look at it, you're throwing that flag because you believe you're going to be right. And when it comes back the other way, you have to regroup.
Carr now on 3rd and goal. And this is caught. It's Cooper. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
If you're running out route, it's likely you're going to end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
Toe tap.
You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
Well, their offense has struggled for sure, but they get the field goal here and at least get on the board before half.
And that's not something we should underestimate, because just getting points on the board can sometimes have a settling effect on a team. Helps them start their comeback.
The Bronco offense now set to come back out onto the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Now a 1st down throw. Simeon. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line.
All right, I'm going to show my age here a little bit. We used to talk about running backs catching the ball as safety valves. Nowadays, they're a big part of the passing offense.
Quit acting like you're so old. You're only 65. He's got time in the pocket. He's going to wind up and air it out. This is caught inside the 15. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. Back with more AFC playoff action after this timeout. So after that big play, let's see if they can catch their defense maybe on their heels. first and 10. Simeon. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
Slants are so tough to cover because everything happens so fast. But sometimes it happens too fast for the guy catching the ball because all of his movements have to be quick off the line of scrimmage, and then all of a sudden the ball's right on top of you. And maybe he got a little bit ahead of himself there.
A lot of times coming in with good pace, and he dropped it. Call that a loss of 5 yards on the play. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. They come up in an offset eye. Here's Simeon trying to get it to Thomas, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. So out come the Raiders. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
So the run gets them the first, and now they operate with a fresh set of downs.
Hey, we go rally. Rally. We ready? Hey, we go rally. Go, baby. Go, baby. Alert, zebra. Zebra, baby. Alert, 18.
They go play action here on first down. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. It's a gain of 6 on the play, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
On 2nd down, Washington. And he is going to lose yardage here. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
We just saw another example of how the defense is winning this game. Really at the point of attack, the offensive line's just getting pushed around. I think now as a play caller, you've got to give them a little bit of help. Maybe you keep your tight ends a little bit more. Maybe the running backs help you a little bit with the pass blocking. But you got to help them get some confidence because you can't abandon the play calling right now.
He loses 4, and it brings up 4th.
Now that was well defended, and as a cornerback, what you're taught when you see a wide receiver screen, either you get underneath the play before the blocking forms, or you're going to have to fight your way through it by getting through some blocking. That was a really nice play there.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And that'll skip out of bounds inside the 20 at the 17-yard line. So we're at halftime of this AFC wildcard matchup as we send you cross-country to our EA Sports Studios in Orlando with our halftime report. Here's Larry Ridley. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. Out comes the Raiders offense. They'll go on offense first to start quarter number 3. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. This is a really, I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. Carr to throw on second down. Looking deep downfield. And both guys were there, but it falls incomplete.
And when all else fails as a defender, when you're not there in the coverage, your best friend is exactly what we saw there. A big play shot taken by the offense. Unfortunately, it ended in a big drop.
Hard throw, incomplete. Here's Marquette King now as he's on to punt for Oakland. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, though, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away.
Yeah,
Defense,
we
got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense and let them go down and score and give us more of a cushion in the game. Check so far. Defense shut them down. Let's see if the offense gets done.
Thomas, the lone receiver, left. On first down, it's Simeon. He goes underneath for Anderson. And he's going to get this inside the 30. It's a gain of 17 that time. And it'll give the Broncos a first down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you swing it out to your...
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. It'll be a loss of 7 on the sack, and it brings up second. And now it looks like they're going to be in the hurry-up.
Here we go now. Blue 90. Blue 90.
On second down, here's Simeon. And on the catch right side, this is Sanders. And he's brought down, but not before reaching the 8-yard line. And now a first down following that long gain.
Hurry up, here we go. Green 39. Green 39.
Here's Simeon. And he fires one that's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And the return just out across the 15 to the 16-yard line. Now the Oakland offense heading back onto the field to take over. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him. All right? So you got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But, hey, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
They're going to hurry back to the line now. Now Carr. And complete right side to Cook. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line.
How about the timing on that one? Boy, they were in sync, weren't they? 3-step drop, ball's out of his hands, right to the tight end. Nice completion, just like they do it in practice.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs.
Well, so much for him being bottled up throughout the day. Finally finds a way to break through and get a really nice gain. The defense had felt great about what they had going. Now they've got to turn their attention to getting it back in that direction. Can they bottle him up again? Because I'd say after that run, confidence is pretty high for him.
It's a pickup of 19. Good enough for an Oakland first down.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you can get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
And he'll be taken down at the 33, a pickup of about 4. Couple of Broncos there in on the tackle.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
On play action, it's Carr. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by the former first-round pick, Shane Ray. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line. The Broncos offense now gets ready to head back onto the field. And they had a nice little drive going last time. Threw the interception in the red zone. Costly.
Bad enough to throw it anywhere, but that drives coaches insane when they're thinking about, hey, we got a shot at points already. We're already in a spot where you're thinking you got 3 on the board for sure, and to come away with nothing, that's a really tough one for them to swallow.
Yeah, will they make up for it?
Let's go.
In motion left here, Sanders. On first down, Simeon. Sanders has it over the middle. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 15. It's a big play there for the Broncos. 34 yards.
We just saw him hit a big play there on a deep post. And most of the time, the post isn't available because usually you have defenders in the middle of the field. But if you throw enough curls and crossing routes and underneath...
And he'll take it into the end zone for a Denver score. Their dangerous wide receiver, a 14-yard touchdown. And the Broncos turn that interception into a touchdown. He missed one earlier, remember, but this time he gets it to go. Now after the touchdown, ready to boot it away, Riley Dixon. The Raiders offense now making their way back out onto the field. Looked like they had something going last drive. Then the interception happened. Will they recover?
The memory they need to keep with them is that they did have something going. They were moving the ball on offense, had a nice sequence going. Don't worry about the other part. You can't get that back. Let's go back to what you were doing well before.
I thought you were going to say they need to have no memory, but remember the good part, forget the bad.
I like that even better. In recent years, the slot receivers really gained stature in the NFL because they can do so many things. Yes, they can line up wide like your normal wide receiver, but to have that kind of courage and toughness to run routes in the middle of the field and become dependable targets for their quarterbacks and move the sticks, those guys are worth their weight in gold.
On first down, Carr firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. That one good for 10 yards. And it'll be second and very short. And now they're in the hurry up. On second down, here's Carr. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he's brought down. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs. On first and 10, here's Carr. And it's incomplete. Boy, he doesn't drop many like that one. Second down.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
Two receivers left, one to the right. To throw, it's Carr. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. Give him 5 on the screen play, and that'll set up a third down. And quickly, they get to the line. Now, Carr again. And that is incomplete. Back now in the East Bay. It's Raider football here, but they're on the short side of the scoreboard right now as we begin the fourth. And we'll begin it with a field goal try here. He'll have the win at his back here in the fourth quarter. And Barth puts it through. And that will close the gap down to 14. All right, so it's getting late in this one. Now, you could argue that they needed to get back within 2 scores, and they did indeed do that, but they still face a pretty uphill battle.
Yeah, even with the field goal here, it's going to take 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns now to get back in it. And that's going to be a tall order against this defense.
And Denver getting set to take the field. And they will simply, Charles, be looking to duplicate what they did last drive when they were able to push it in for 6.
And they hope it'll be that easy, right? To be able to take exactly what happened before, replicate it. They have to make a few additional changes along the way because I'm sure the defense will make some adjustments, but they've got to have great confidence having scored the last time out.
Now the offense lining up first and 10. And defensively, they just don't seem to have much of an answer for this passing game.
Not at all. Look at the confidence that's exhibited here. With that type of a lead, clock on their side, instead of running it, they're still throwing it, trying to pick up first downs and keeping the football.
And in this situation with a lead fourth quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
It's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
Emmanuel Sanders, the intended receiver, and it's third down.
When you see passes knocked down by those guys I call the frustrated fullbacks, the linebackers, you know that in their zone coverage, they were able to drop, see the ball thrown, and react to it very quickly.
Here we go now.
In motion left goes Sanders. Throwing on third down, Simeon. Got a man. He finds picks up the first before he's taken down at the 29. He's played a great game. It continues right there, even with this lead, confident to throw the pass and have the reception made.
There's no doubt who the leader of their team is there? There's no doubt who they want to ride all the way to the finish, because strategy would tell you run the football, run the clock down. Instead, they're letting him throw it because they feel that confident in what he's getting done.
And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
First and goal, defense with their backs against the wall. And this one will wind up with him losing yardage back to the 4-yard line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down. The fourth quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage.
And he is into the end zone for a Denver touchdown. Demaryius Thomas from 4 yards out. And the Broncos will add on to their lead. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning? Right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
The Raider offense now making their way toward the huddle. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. Here's Carr to throw. And complete right side to Cook. And he takes this one just shy of midfield all the way to the 49. A good pick up there of 20 yards.
Coaches always harp on the quarterback reading the defense and getting it to the open man. That's good recognition there. And how about what he did after the catch?
Yeah, hit your tight end, let him get some rack.
Yeah, when he gets moving, not many guys want to come over and put a hit on him, do they?
Certainly some contact there, and that's why there's a penalty on the defender for pass interference.
So hard to time it up for a defender to hit the receiver when the ball arrives. Got there a little bit early on that one.
Carr now on first down. Finding time. Being chased out left. That is caught inside the 5. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3.
We talk about mobility on quarterbacks all the time. Here's where it really pays off. Able to move, evade, and is accurate throwing on the run.
And he'll take it into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. Cordero Patterson from 3 yards out. And the Raiders get a score closer.
I wonder if he changed anything on his play sheet, or they just executed better. Because they had 2 previous drives that ended in field goals. Before this one, they finally were able to put into the end zone.
Well, whatever he did, speaking of the offensive coordinator, might be using that formula going forward. It worked there.
Yeah, it works very well. He and his field general in pretty good sync right now. They're starting to move the ball well.
2 scores down, 3 timeouts left. Still a chance if they can somehow get this one back. And now the Broncos will burn another timeout here. That's going to leave them with just 1 remaining here in this fourth quarter. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Now this Broncos offensive unit ready to head back out onto the field. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
And confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you've scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around. And that last reception puts him over 150 yards now on the game, Charles.
And now it's not just execution. It's not just performance. It's a mental aspect that's going on. Because right now,
And that is caught. Touchdown, Denver. Demaryius Thomas with now 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns. And the Broncos will extend their lead. And the defensive there, that was a battle. He just made a really nice play.
A really nice play, making sure his body position was correct. And how about the throw? Zipped it in there.
And it results in the touchdown. Now after the touchdown, ready to boot it away, Riley Dixon. This will be taken in at the 1. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. And now here come the Raiders. Last time they were out, they scored. Still trailing here, though, so some work to do.
But it's okay in terms of mindset. Because they scored the last time, they're not quite as worried about being down on the scoreboard because now their confidence is a little bit higher. They feel like
Cordero Patterson, 20, 10, 5, and all the way in. Touchdown, Oakland. Cordero Patterson, 76 yards. And the Raiders make some inroads here on that deficit. 2 scores down, 3 timeouts left. Still a chance if they can somehow get this one back. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here. That'll be their 3rd and final stoppage here as we step aside. And the Broncos are going to get the football. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none. They send Green to the left on his own. That one looks like he'll throw here. He's got time. This is caught inside the 15. That goes for a gain of 31. And certainly a valuable tool to have in your kit, Emmanuel Sanders, and he's shown us quite a bit in this one.
And that's why they wanted to use him immediately. You know they come out of the locker room and say, let's get the ball to him, get our offense jump-started, and in this case, it's worked throughout the game. Thus, they have the lead.
And intercepted, maybe the turning point they need. A great read, and it's picked off. And he'll be brought down at his own 10-yard line. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And last time the formula was pretty simple. 1 play drive, long pass. That maybe they just want to do that again, right?
And that's exactly how you want to draw things up. Whether it's on your grease board, right, in your playbook, 1 play drive is exactly what you want on offense. What they have to be careful of is not having a letdown. It was real easy last time. They can't expect that going forward.
Yeah, we'll see if it's that easy here. Looking to speed things up here, going with some tempo. Carr going to throw. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. On first down, Carr. Now they go screen. It's complete. So holding by the offense, and maybe now got to shift up what you want to do on the playbook.
Yeah, definitely. Change what you're doing in the playbook, but boy, the advantage shifts to the guys on defense, doesn't it? Longer yardage situations, they often become bolder.
Working from the gun, it's Carr. Surveying the field. Throwing left side, it's complete. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of, until they stop him, why not go back to it? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
And oh, not only did he drop it, he dropped it in the end zone. And the offense facing a 3rd and 6.
One thing I know from experience is that when the deep ball is thrown and you're the defender, you've got to fight that little bit of panic that emerges. You've got to play the ball really well. It's a 50-50 jump ball play. And guess what? They took it.
Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. 1 receiver to the left is Cooper. Carr now on first down. He's got time in the pocket. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
Well, we're not playing 3 yards in a cloud of dust football anymore. I kind of get why those old school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football. Because if it's popped up in the air, it almost turns into slow motion. And both sides trying to get to the football, and you're holding your breath wondering whether it's going to go good or bad for your team.
And he's brought down after a good gain. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. That'll be their third and final stoppage here as we step aside. And now the offense operates in the red zone. Carr to throw again. And he is into the end zone for the touchdown. So they still need a miracle with a clock where it's at, but they get one piece to the puzzle done.
Still have hope.
And the lead will shrink to 6. So looking at this situation, you should have time for the onside kick and then at least one play. And this is going to be recovered by the hands team. And that should just about put a capper on this one. They had to go for it with no timeouts remaining, though now this one's as good as over.
They gave it an effort. They tried their best, did everything they could to try and get the ball on the onside kick. You're exactly right. They had to try it. It was their only option. And now this game is done. Just take it, kneel, and call it a day.
They go back to the air here after the INT. Demaryius Thomas, the intended receiver. That'll bring up second down.
It's a tried-and-true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. Now Simeon finding time. And it's incomplete. They're still throwing to the very end, but now this game is over. Well, I know at points in this when you wanted to close your eyes because of all the points that were being put on the scoreboard. You're a defensive guy, but it was a fun little track meet, wasn't it?
It was, and you know the people really enjoyed this game? They're the ones that like going to batting practice at the Major League Baseball parks, right? Seeing the 14-11 game, that sort of deal. That's right up their alley with what we saw in this one.
So that'll do it. For my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry, I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. From Oakland, we sign off. So long, everybody.